On today's program, we're going to be doing a camera lens review. Oh yeah! Hey there folks, welcome to the Photo Video Show where we explore all things DSLR. I'm your host Mark Puckett, and on today's program we're going to be doing a camera lens comparison, more specifically of the Nikon P500 fixed lens against a couple of the cheaper / less expensive kit lenses that come with your entry-level DSLRs. Now, the only feasible way that I could figure out this test would probably work is mainly using the EXIF data of the pictures that are going to come out of the Nikon P500. I would take a picture with that camera and then throw on a kit lens from some entry-level DSLRs onto the Nikon D7000, get those settings exactly the same, and see how the lens performed against each other head to head. So if you guys are ready, I know I am, let's get started. So let me start off by saying that I was originally going to do this whole comparison thing in this really horrible indoor lighting. Decided against that, went with some daylight, threw in Buddha. He's much sexier anyway. So the first contestant is the Nikon P500. It has a Nikkor 36 optical wide zoom lens, 3.4 to 5.7 aperture. And I'm going to compare that against my Nikon D7000 using a couple of kit lenses that I picked up after the fact. Now the first one is the Nikkor 18 to 70 millimeter 3.5 to 4.5, and the second one is the 55 to 200 zoom telephoto lens 4 to 5.6. Now the first one, 18 to 70 millimeter, I believe shipped with the D80 several years back. If you happen to find one used, pick this thing up. It is excellent for the price. And the 55 to 200 millimeter zoom lens, it's an okay lens. It's pretty standard Chinese, plasticky feeling. Not very good, but it will work in a pinch. So the first thing I did is I wrote down all the settings that came from the EXIF data of all the pictures that I took with the Nikon P500. I wrote all those down that way that I could replicate those settings exactly as they were on the Nikon D7000 so that I could take the photos and actually compare them. But before I show you my results, I also want you to keep in mind that when you're using a camera like this, as with any zoom lens, your aperture value is going to change as you zoom. Whether it be the side barrel switch or the top switch, your f-stop value and your shutter speed are going to constantly change, especially if you keep the camera in auto mode. Hence the reason you need to learn your camera, learn your settings, and learn how to control light. Because when you do finally bump up to a pro DSLR body, you're going to have a whole lot more control. So it's very important that you learn how to control that light, control how your camera interacts with that light, so that you can get the best results. Let me give you a brief example of how the P500 reacts to different situations. As you zoom in, as you can see, the f-stop value and your shutter speed value changes dramatically, even with variances in the light or objects in your frame. The number one thing that I'm generally looking for when I'm looking for a lens, I'm looking for good shadow detail. So that's what I really want you guys to kind of focus on here, is how much detail is actually in the shadows. And so far, from what I can tell, the P500 does a pretty good job, but it's really contrasty by default. The darks are really, really dark, and the lights sometimes get blown out even when they shouldn't. So again, even when compared to the 55 to 200 millimeter kit lens, the kit lens still holds better shadow detail. There's a lot better color saturation, the noise performance is better, and it's just an overall better, less contrasty image. So even though the camera did not stack up well against those kit lenses, don't be disheartened. If you're just starting out or if you're on a low budget, this camera has a lot of features. It has a lot to offer, and it's definitely worth taking a look at. So there you go, folks. The lens comparison is complete. So I hope you guys found this information useful and entertaining and enriching for your needs. At any rate, I want to encourage everyone to comment, rate, and subscribe, especially if you're actually enjoying the show. And if you will, if you feel so inclined, please reblog, share on your Facebooks or your Twitters, and share the love around. So, thanks again for stopping here at the Photo Video Show. We'll see you guys again next time. Holla!